and welcome to the 11th Crochetjunkie Podcast, or video log, whichever. This is a podcast about crocheting, knitting, sometimes spinning, and other crafts. My name is Amber. I live in Texas with my husband, our 2 daughters. We have 8 chickens, 3 dogs, and a pet snake. I'm recording outside today. As you can see, I thought it was a really nice morning. It is kind of bright, but the sun is, I believe, quickly going to be over my porch roof, so I won't have the sun beating down on half my face and then half my face black. So I feel like I've done a ton on my crafts this week, but I don't have any finished objects other than, and I don't even think I brought it out here. Bummer. I wove in my ends on my 3-color cashmere cow. My knit along with my knit night group at Mad Tosh Crafts ended last Thursday. I went to knit night and wove in my ends right before I went. So that's my only finished object. This weekend we had a lot of fun. I talked last week about my girls starting school last Monday. So today is Tuesday, September 1st, I think. September, yay! So my girls started school last week, and my 4-year-old, I've been a stay-at-home mom since my daughters were born. I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, and my 4-year-old just started preschool. And it's all-day preschool. I know a lot of preschools are like half days or only a certain amount of days during the week, but she goes to school. She gets on the bus at 6:45, and then she doesn't get home until right after 4. So that's a really long day. They do take naps at school, but it was really hard. It was rough on me. I cried. I cried all day last Wednesday because I was just feeling that empty nest. It was strange. I've lived my life the last 10 years having a child at home, and now I don't have any kids at home, and it's been really, really hard to adjust. I've been cleaning like crazy. I've been starting projects. I haven't had any motivation to finish anything. I just want to keep starting things, which is crazy. But this weekend, we decided to go do something fun. Since they were in school all week, my husband had to go into the city. And so he called me late Friday night and said, well, I was thinking maybe we could just, you could come into town, because he was already in town. We could stay the night at our friend's house and take the girls to the Perot Museum, which is a really cool science museum in Dallas. Huge, huge museum. I'm sure you can Google it, or if you're familiar with the area, I'm sure you've been there because it's just amazing. And so we meant to go during the summer, but I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't go during the summer. We went on a Saturday, which I normally wouldn't go on a Saturday, but it was really nice. There wasn't a lot of people there. The people that were there were just, minding their space. A lot of times when I go to places like that, it's hard for me because I feel like it's overcrowded, and I don't want to be that close to people. Always bumping into somebody, it's really uncomfortable. And so it was really quite nice on Saturday when we went. We spent the day there and saw all the stuff that there is to see. The girls really, really love the dinosaur exhibits with all the bones and things. My husband loves the space and astrology stuff. And I really love anatomy and looking at all the different interactive exhibits that they have to learn about these things. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do with the girls, is take them somewhere where they're not just, like at the water park is fun, it's great, but the Perot, I mean, not only do we have fun, but we spent the day enriching our minds with all of this knowledge that we wouldn't normally have. And I forgot one of the books that I got. We always try to get the girls realistic souvenirs, or really useful souvenirs, not just, the junk that a lot of souvenir shops sell. So we normally let them get a shirt whenever we travel or go somewhere that's fun or interesting. and a book if they have it, a book about the place or whatever. So the girls did get shirts, and Prudence got a book that's with the Cat in the Hat series. We actually have quite a few of them. There's If I Ran the Rainforest, there's No Place Like Space, there's the one we just got, All About Your Body, and it talks about, your skeletal system, your nervous system. It's just a really interesting book to be able to read at bedtime and not just, some silly story, which is nice sometimes, but it's also fun and interesting to be able to teach your kids stuff with a bedtime story. So Trilla also got the 50 Science Things to Make and Do. And she's really excited. She's already looked through the book and had some ideas on stuff that she's going to make. And she's a little scientist, and I love my daughter's thirst for knowledge. I got a book too, though I haven't even read any of the books that I showed you last week. I've not picked up a book, not read one page. But I got a book. I know, there we go. The Evolutionary Origins of Belief. 6 Impossible Things Before Breakfast. So I love religion. I love studying about religion and learning about religion. I'm not religious. I don't have any faith. I guess that's the best way to say that. But I do love learning and studying why people believe the things that they believe and the different beliefs that there are out there. I think it's approximately 4,200 religions in the world, and that's just astronomical to me, that many different belief systems can have so many followers. And it really intrigues me to learn about religion. So I'm looking forward to this book. Sorry about the ums and uhs. I'm trying not to do that. I've noticed some podcasters do it an awful lot, so much that it's annoying, and it's hard to watch if somebody's just grasping for words the whole time. So I'm really trying not to do that. We also went, after we went to the Pro, we were in Dallas, so of course, nice restaurants in Dallas. We don't get that a lot out here. We wanted to take the girls to Magic Time Machine, which is a really cool restaurant where they dress up in different movie character costumes. And we've been there a lot with the girls. They love it. I love it. But we wanted to do something that they hadn't done. And my husband thought we could take them to this place called Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. The wind is like shaking my screen. It's a Brazilian steakhouse, and they come over. So basically, you go and get your sides from this salad bar, but it's more than a salad bar because they have other things too. And then these Brazilian cowboys come over to your table with their hunks of meat that they cook. So there's leg of lamb, lamb chops, top sirloin, bottom sirloin, chicken, little bacon wrapped chicken nuggets. They have wings and sausages. I mean, all kinds of meat. Meat. And we are big meat eaters. We love meat. My husband and I had been there before, but it's been years and years. It was when we lived in Dallas when we first got married, and we hadn't been back since. And the girls had never been, and Estrella loved it. She thought it was just the fanciest place because they're sure to pull out your chair and help you with your napkin, and they have, the glass goblets for water, and the girls always love when they get a glass for water instead of, the little traditional kid cups. They feel fancy. So they really like that place. Estrella said that she wanted to go back there for her birthday dinner, which really made her dad happy. And they love school. They've been going to school since last week, like I mentioned, and they just love it. Prudence had a rough time the very first of the week. She just kept talking about how she didn't really want to go back to school. She was tired. She missed me. Does she have to go to school? And that was really hard for me to hear because I told my husband that I would rather wait for her just to go to kinder. My oldest did not attend preschool, and I just felt that it's not necessary. You know, they're going to learn their alphabets and numbers, and it's not, I don't have to send her to 13 years of school when 12 will do, right? But he really wanted her to go. She really wanted to go. Oh, I got a mug. I got a mug at the Pro. Yay. So, like I said, my girls love, 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 love dinosaurs. So I thought about this one would be good to remember this time in their lives when they're so paleontologist obsessed. My girls go back and forth on what they want to be when they grow up between a stay-at-home mom, like me, or Trella says that she wants to adopt 5 kids and 27 dogs. My dad has 24, my best count, okay guys? He might have a few more or a few less than that. He lives on 55 acres. He's always rescued dogs. He sees them on the side of the road and takes them home. He has a lot of dogs. My grandmother, when she was still alive, was a DVG judge, which is a kennel club type thing. You can Google it if you want more information. I'm not going to go all into that. The point was, Prudence, Etrella wants to be a massive dog owner like my dad, of course. Prudence was having a really hard time with school. And then she kept him-hawing around about it, and it was hard for me to listen to her say that she really didn't want to go. But she does. She loves it. She comes home every day and shows me all of her papers and her cutting and her coloring and tells me about what she learned, tells me about what the kids do. She has a little friend. She loves, 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 loves school. Riding the bus is her favorite. It's actually kind of funny because she asked me one day last week, on Wednesday, I believe. Sorry, there goes a really loud truck. That's what we have in Texas, really big, loud trucks. Last week she said that she really likes the bus, but could the bus take her to Waxahachie to go see her Mima and Papa? Waxahachie is 2 hours from us. Waxahachie. That's probably strange to some of you who don't live around here. Strange name, right? That's where my husband and I both went to high school, and it's where our parents both live. So I mentioned, I guess we'll move on to the knitting. Now that I've rambled on so long, I was going to talk more about rambling, but we'll do enhancement. So I was watching a podcast, and I should have written it down. Dang it. I can't think. Cozy Crafter. That's what it is. It's Cozy Crafting. Or Cozy Crafter or Cozy Crafting, something like that. So I was watching her podcast where she talked about going to Tuesday Morning and finding the ChowGoo needles for super, super cheap. And so I went in, or actually I'm really far from Tuesday Morning. It's kind of like a Big Lots or a Ross if you have those. It has not really a Ross because I don't think it has clothing. More like Home Goods for cheap. You know, discounted, this stuff fell off the truck or whatever prices. So Cozy Crafter mentioned going to Tuesday Morning and getting a whole set of ChowGoo needles for super cheap. I immediately called my mother-in-law, who's only a stone's throw from Tuesday Morning, and I said, hey, can you please go get me some, see if they have any needles and buy me some. And she said, of course, and she did. And she called me from the store, and she's like, okay, they have this size, and this size, and this size, which I just thought was so nice. I don't have a lot of people that would do that for me, and she's one of the few people in my life that has just always been willing to do things. Not only to do things for me, but to be there when I need her, and I really appreciate and love her for that. So she went and picked me up a set, and then I went on my way to Knit Night last week, stopped at Tuesday Morning, and got a set too. And I actually have 3 sets now, but I only have 2 with me. And so I got the longer, they were $2 freaking dollars, y'all. $2. And I got the longer cabled needles, so I could do magic loop socks, and I got 40 inch, so I could do 2 at a time. I got a 32 inch and a 40 inch. Magic loop. I don't think it's my friend, y'all. I just really don't. I tried it, and granted, I didn't really stick with it. It just seemed fiddly to me, so I ripped it out. And then after I did one magic loop, I was like, oh, let me try 2 at a time magic loop. Why? Why would I even do that? I don't know. But I did, and that just made no sense to me. I got the cast on, and then I was like, what am I going to do with these balls that are going to tangle around each other? And so I ripped that out. This is going to be the episode of frogging, y'all. Let me see. I have in my bag from Andy from the Andre Sue Knits podcast. She and I did a swap, and she sent me this awesome bag that she made. I just adore it. Oh, look, there's a chicken right there. See my chicken? I hear the other one. Oh, there's 2 right there. So, speaking of frogging, the magic loop did not work out for me. I had to frog that, which is such a disappointment. And I showed you guys these last time, which are my District, now the sun is not going to cooperate. These are my District 12 socks, which I decided to use this for the Regina, the Herb Splat, I don't think I'm saying that right. Fall in Love Socks Knit Along, the Herb Splat podcast with Regina. And she has a podcast group on Ravelry that you can join in, and then you can tag Fall in Love Socks or Fall in Love Knit Along. So it doesn't have to be socks. It can be anything that makes you think of fall. And she's having a knit along I think it's going on for a while. Till November, I want to say. It started already, and it's going on until November. And I even have a sweater quantities worth of fall colors that I might try to whip out a sweater. So I have to frog these socks. Completely frog these socks. I started these, did the old Norwegian cast on, and I thought that these were going to be for me. But then I realized that they're too tight, and I was like, oh, that's okay, because I bet they'd fit a Trella, my 9-year-old. And so I was just knitting, and I finally got to the hill, and when she came home from the bus yesterday, I tried them on her, and they're way too tight. They're so tight on her, and she does not like them, and so I'm going to rip them out. Yeah, I am, and I'm going to make them for me, like I had planned to do originally, because I love this colorway. And I have them on size 0 or 2 millimeter Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics, which is my favorite sock needle, guys. Except for the fact, look at my little DPN ends. These are the Addy gummy bears. They have little holes so you can shove all your DPNs in. The only problem that I have with these needles is how easily they bend. So, and I have like gorilla grip. So my needles are constantly getting bent, and I have to bend them back. So that's really the only thing that I don't like about them. I love the glide. I love the sharp tips. I love DPNs. I don't think that I'm going to be a magic looper. I love DPNs so much. So these are going to be frogged. Say goodbye. I'm so sad. It just really bums me out that I worked so long and hard on them, and they just didn't work out. So out of frustration for my socks not working out, I cast on a pair of rollers, Rose City rollers. And this, it's all shady, so you can't see. But it's the Bramble Stripes. It's Croy sock yarn. I think it's called Bramble Stripes. It's purple, though you can't see that. It's kind of got this white and gray, and then it goes green stripes, and then back to purple, which y'all know I love purple and green. And my little knitting end fell off here. And my needle dropped. Sorry about that. But so I've got my little gummy bears on here too. And I probably need to knit 2 more inches before I do the heel decrease, or the toe decrease. And yeah, I have a pair of rollers in Crawley sock yarn already. That's my only pair of socks for myself that I've made. And so I thought when my District 12 socks weren't working out, I said, just let me cast on another pair of rollers, because I already know that I knit them on size 2.5 or 3 millimeter. And again, these are the cubics. And I can quickly knit myself a pair of socks, instead of being sad that I only have 1 pair. And I've been wearing the crap out of that 1 pair of socks. And I've been machine washing and drying it, which works amazing with all of the socks so far that I've made. Actually, I've machine and dried all of them. Machine wash and dried all of them. And I haven't had any problems. I say that. I lost an elephant sock. Yeah, I still haven't folded 2 baskets of laundry. So I'm really hoping the elephant sock's just like stuck inside of the pant leg or something. But I only have 1 elephant sock right now. My 4-year-old wanted to wear them. They're missing. She's sad. But I am working on her another pair of socks. And these are, I realized she doesn't really have a lot of socks. And I could buy her some socks. Or I could knit her some socks. So these are for my 4-year-old, Prudence. And I started these yesterday, right when they got off the bus, and knit these for Stripes last night. And this yarn is the Gummy Bear, the Fleechy from Knit Picks in colorway Gummy Bear, which is fitting since I have my little Gummy Bear knit ends, or DPN stoppers, whatever they're called. But I just love this, and she saw it this morning, and she said, "Mom, are those my lollipop socks?" And I said, "Yes, they are." So that's what I'm going to call them, is lollipop socks. But I'm loving this. I love the softness, and I love the fabric I'm getting. And I'm knitting these on size 0 with the, again, my absolute favorite knitting needles. I'm really happy with this. I cannot wait to finish these socks, both pair, and that's probably what I'll work on, even though I should be working on other things, like my Potter shawl. And I have that in my You Sew and Sew bag. I forgot her name for a minute. And it's got little teepees and owl Indians and dream catchers and pine trees and arrows. I love this bag. I love it. And it's really, really, really well made. I actually put my Potter shawl in this bag so I'd want to work on my Potter shawl because I love the bag so much. And here comes another, that's a diesel, big truck. So I have worked this much since last week, and that's it. From this stitch marker, I made a little teapot to my end. So not a lot. And stitches is coming, gosh, in 2 weeks, and I was hoping to have this done. So even though I want to knit socks so bad, I just love knitting socks, I need to work on my shawl so it's finished. And I'm liking it better now. I know last week I said that I really, really hated this yarn because it's just superwash and it's not anything that special. But now that I've gotten more knit, it's actually not that bad. And I think that once I have it blocked, it'll even be better. I was just worried that the drape, it's not going to drape because it's superwash. It's just going to like lay there and clumps and look whatever, instead of using something like silk or cashmere, which is what the pattern yarn she used. What did she say she used? Shimlar yarns, Breathless, and she used a superwash cashmere silk blend. And mine's just superwash. But here is the pattern, and I'm still endlessly knitting the garter stitch. It's so boring. It's so boring, but it's mindless, and it's okay to take along with me when, you know, we're running errands or something. But so are socks. You see my problem? Because I love socks. So hopefully I'll work on that. We'll see. The cool thing is Mina from the Knitting Expat podcast is doing a letter S knit along for the month of September. And she says that you can knit anything that begins with S. Socks, shawls, sweaters, any pattern that begins with an S. And you can have a work in progress be your project. So I have that sweater, and I also have my Nora sweater. Oh no. Okay, so I have worked on this, but it's inside. I've done about 4 inches of the back. I showed you the front, another diesel. I showed you the front last week, and now I have not very much done on the back. So I don't love it. I probably will once it's done. I could see myself wearing it a lot. I'll show you a picture. With like a long sleeve shirt underneath, because the yarn is mohair and it's kind of scratchy. Maybe not so much scratchy now that it's kind of prickly. It is 45% silk, 45% mohair, and 10% wool. And I think that I could probably, once I wash it and block it, it will probably soften up just a bit. But here's the picture. And again, another project that I'm just like, yeah, that's nice, that's cool, whatever. It's just not love. It's just not love. And unfortunately, not half my projects are not love right now. That's sad. I don't like making things that aren't love. What else can I show you? More stash enhancement, since I am bouncing all over the place today. Sorry. Isn't it amazing? And again, this is from Crochetjunkie. And she had this bag in her shop, and as soon as I saw it, I had to have it. I'm kind of obsessed with Van Gogh. I have this fabric in a lot of places, or not fabric, but this print on a lot of different things. I love this painting, Starry Night, and also his sunflowers and just all of his stuff, really. Olive trees. I love him. I love him. And so I needed this bag, and she called it on her shop a masterpiece in progress. And is that not fitting for a knit bag? Masterpiece in progress? I thought so, and I love this shape. It's like this really, really cool bag. And in here I have my minis. I have them all shoved in here, and I actually got some more from a knit night friend. Her and I did a swap, and she even labeled her minis. And I'm not going to show you all of them, just my favorites, which were these 3. And you can't even hardly see the colors. So this one's a really cool pink. It's called Cactus Flower. And it's pink, but it's tonal, so it's got some orange and kind of purple in there too, but not in a variegated way. It's very subtle. I love that one. And it's a Madeline Tosh Twist Light Cactus Flower. I think I'm going to have to get some of that colorway. And this one too, which the tag has fallen off of this one. Darn it. I think this is it. No. That's not it. That one's cold, so speckled. So anyway, this one is called Blue Something. It is so blue, and that is not showing up on the screen. I want to make a Trella, maybe a little cardigan in this color. She would love that. She really likes the turquoise blue aqua variations, and her eyes are blue, so anytime she wears blue, it really makes them pop. And she's really fair-skinned. She looks a lot like my husband. It's really interesting because we have 2 daughters. My oldest is my husband's twin. You put a red beard on that child and some glasses, and she's like her dad. She looks just like him. It's so crazy. And then the whole time she was little, I never was told, oh, your baby looks like you. Oh, that's so great. Never. It made me feel so sad and so left out. All I ever heard is, wow, she's your husband's twin, and she really is. So when I got pregnant with Prudence, everyone told me, oh, there's not a chance this baby's going to look like you. This baby's going to look like your husband. His genes are too strong. Guess what? Yes, Prudence is my twin. She looks just like me. She's got dark hair. She's olive complexion, brown eyes. It's crazy. It's crazy that 2 people can produce children that look so differently. And it's nice, too, because I feel like we both have one. We both have a kid that looks like us. And, yeah. What else was I going to show you? The Love Sockwool podcast, Sarah, love her podcast. She's always knitting socks. So she's kind of an enabler because every time I see something, she actually told me about Nordic Mart having a sale. You could type in free Dobby and get a percentage off, and I totally missed out on it, like a lame-o. But I still want to get yarn from there because there's a bunch of sock yarn brands that I haven't tried. Commercial sock yarn brands that are relatively cheap, and yeah, I just want to try them, see how they are. Look, there's the chicken. There's chicken. So Yarn Enabler, or Love Sockwool, enabled me to do the pencil socks from Yarn Enabler. And I showed y'all this yarn when I got it, and I could show you a picture of the number 2 pencil socks. And as soon as my 9-year-old saw those, she had to have them. She loves theme socks. I knit the watermelon socks for her. So she really wanted pencil socks. So I ordered the yarn, had to wait for it, of course, because it's special dyed, which is fine. Got the yarn, was kind of hem-hawing around about skeening it up, because that is my most unfavorite part about ordering yarn. I got it out yesterday to skein up, and it was the bottom of the skein. I just unraveled it, and it was in knots. Like, not knots, but it was all tangled together. It took me 2 hours. And I understand that happens. I understand you get yarn and it gets tangled. It's part of being a knitter, crocheter. But when I order expensive yarn from an indie dyer, it's a person, it's not a company, it's one person, and this is your business. And to me, I feel like she should have done a better job skeening the yarn so it wasn't such a headache and hassle for me, the consumer who just spent a good, decent portion of money on her yarn. For me to have to live that frustration was just ridiculous. But I have it balled. Took me 2 hours to untangle the mess, and I broke it into 2s because I was going to try 2 at a time, but I'm not. I'm just going to do it 1 at a time, but concurrently. So I'm going to knit, on DPNs until I get done with the border, etc., etc. Another thing that I hate bashing people, especially when it's such a small, company, or not company, but it's this is an individual indie dyer. But another thing that kind of bummed me out about it was the fact that she doesn't include the pattern when you buy the yarn. You have to buy the pattern extra. And I get that she went through the process of figuring out how to dye this amazing yarn, figuring out the pattern for it. It's work extensive, but I just kind of feel like when you buy the yarn, the pattern should come free with it. I shouldn't have to spend an extra amount of money. And maybe I'm just so frustrated because this skein was tangled. I hate untangling yarn. I almost wanted to throw it away, but with the amount of money that I spent, I couldn't do that. But yeah, I throw a lot of yarn away. If it's tangled, it goes in the trash. Unless my husband's friend, he has a hunting buddy. My husband's actually hunting right now. It's opening day for dove season. And the girls were bummed that they missed it because they had school. But when he's here, his hunting buddy loves untangling yarn. He's a fisher also, and he just looks at it as untangling a fishing line. So it's kind of therapeutic for him to come over and untangle my yarn. But I knew he wouldn't be out here for a while, and I wanted to get started on these socks, so I untangled it myself and nearly ripped my hair out because it was just so frustrating. And then I had to buy the pattern. I guess I didn't have to. I could have figured it out. It's not a difficult knit. But yeah, I wanted the pattern, and now I'm frustrated that I spent all this money on this one person when I feel like their product could have been better. She could have done a better job. Another thing that I got at knit night, the coffee that I'm drinking, it reminded me. So one of my friends there always comes in with an Einstein Bagels cup. And Einstein Bagels is also a coffee place, and they usually close before I get to town. And it's not near the knit shop, or they say that there's one there, but I can't find it. And she offered to buy some coffee on my behalf and bring it up to me, and she did. So I'm drinking vanilla hazelnut from Einstein Bagels Brothers, or Einstein Brothers Bagels or something. Ow, I just hit my elbow on the table. I'm sorry about that. So yes, I love this coffee. I've almost consumed. She bought me 2 bags, and the other one is already about half gone because I just keep making coffee and drinking it. And I was gone this weekend, so I should not have drank that much coffee. Another thing I am working on, gosh, I'm jumping all over the place. This is crazy episode. So my husband wanted a baklava for hunting. I think that's how you say it. The hat with the ski hat, that covers your face. So I started this one for him last winter, because that's when he asked for it. And I started using Caron Simply Soft acrylic. I really don't like it. So I crocheted this, and I wasn't using a pattern. I couldn't find a pattern. And he was very specific about what he wanted, because he wants the eyes. He also wants 2 little nose holes, or a nose hole, so his glasses don't fog up, and a mouth hole, so he used to smoke and dip, and he wanted that so he could smoke and dip. But he's since switched to the vapor cigarettes, so he loves them, and I like that there's not spit cups. I didn't mind the cigars, but the spit cups were disgusting. So he asked for this, very specific about how he wanted it. This fits his head. He's got a huge head. So this fits, and I actually had it down to the mouth, and then he tried it on, and he didn't like something about it. I can't even remember now because it was a year ago that I was working on it. So I ripped it back and kind of fixed it, and then he didn't like it again. So I was like, you know what? This is why I don't make you things. Because when I make me things, I'm like, oh, you know what? The one sleeve's longer than the other, but that's okay. And you're like, you know what? I don't like this, and I'm not going to ever wear it ever because you did a horrible job. He doesn't really say that. But it is frustrating for me to have to rip back and keep ripping back because he's not happy with it. But I think that I'm going to try to order some wool, because I hate the acrylic, and find a knit pattern for a black lava, however you say that. I think that I could probably find a knit pattern for something more like what he wanted. In our anniversary, our dating anniversary, we still celebrate our dating anniversary, is next week. This is the 1st of September. So yeah, 9/11 is our dating anniversary, and we will have been dating for 14, or together, because we're married now, for 14 years. And that to me is insane, because at this point, I've nearly been with him half my life. And that to me is just mind-blowing. But it's been a wild ride. We've grown up a lot together, and it's been really, really nice to have him around as my friend, and frustrating at times too, I'm sure you can imagine. So, sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes right quick. So some new to me podcasts that I've been watching are Idle Cat Knits, which I learned about from Knitting Expat, and she's a fellow Texas podcaster who lives down in Austin, I believe, and she's just got one episode up so far. But she's a lot of fun. I loved watching her and seeing what she had to talk about. Another podcast that I've been watching is Woolbox, and she is in Europe somewhere. Maybe the Netherlands, maybe. She talks about biking a lot, so I'm thinking it's somewhere where they bike a lot. And another one is Heart of Wool, which is also a Texas podcaster. And she's in Houston, and I really enjoy watching what she's got going on. But that is all. No, it's not. See, I told you I'm jumping around. In my chicken bag, with my chickens in my yard, I have my Rosemont swatch. And if you don't know what a Rosemont is, it is the pattern. Hey, I found that tag for that blue yarn I was looking for. Nazoo blue. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous blue. So here's the Rosemont. It's just a classic knit sweater, knit cardigan. And I did my swatch. And I didn't have, I think it asked for size 9 needles, and I didn't have any, so I did it on size 8. But I tend to knit loose anyway. Knit tight, knit loose. What do I do? I'm not real sure. I like the fabric this produced, is my point. However, I knit size 8 is good. And I measured my swatch, and it's fine. It's fine the width, not the length. The length is a little short, and I'll usually end up making most patterns longer anyway, since I'm abnormally long. Long arms, long torso, long legs. I'm just a long, lanky type of person. So the cool thing about this is my knit night friend, Jen, Mommy Sew, she made this bag, and she has an Etsy shop. Love her. Love her so much. I wish she was my neighbor, because I could pick her brain all day. She is so knowledgeable about her craft. She is so knowledgeable about sewing. I've mentioned that Atrella, and again, I did not bring out any of her stuff, has been sewing lately, and she actually recorded a podcast. And I uploaded it to YouTube, but it is private, so I will post the link to that, because I think you can watch it with the link is how that works. I will post the link to that in the podcast group that I actually plan to start being more active in. I posted this morning an Ask Away question thread. If you had any questions about anything, I'd be willing to answer. And yeah, I'll post a trellis podcast in there too so you can watch it. My point was that my friend Jen, or Mommy Sew, I asked her about a sewing machine that she recommended because I mentioned last week that Atrella asked for a sewing machine for her birthday. And I'm going to order her the Janome, the smaller one. I think it's got Hello Kitty or something on it. It's blue, which I've mentioned is her favorite color. So she's going to get that for her birthday, maybe Christmas, I'm not sure. Her birthday is end of November, so even if she doesn't get it for her birthday, it's not like she'll have to wait long until Christmas. So yeah, I've been working on my Rosemont knit along. This is what my knit group is doing. Starts next week, I believe. And so I went ahead and swatched, and I have my yarn. Decided to knit from stash. And it's just the collage in Glisten in colorway, I want to say evergreen, but I don't think that's right. I think it's called something else. It's super holly jolly green. You can't see it out here because everything's so washed out being outside. But it's really bright green. And it's not really what I want, but I think it will be a very cozy and snuggly sweater. It's 70% alpaca, and then silk, and then there's some stellina in there too for the sparkle. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that just because I've been wanting to have a cardigan like that I've knit. I have a crocheted cardigan, but I don't know. I don't love it. It was a yoke cardigan, and the sleeves, I don't know, I just didn't do them right, so it pulls at the sleeves if I move my arms out like this. I also wanted to show you back to the hopping around. This is like the hop, hop, hop episode. Her business card, Cozy Crafting. And I loved the little leaf. And she wrote a note on the back. Thank you, Abby. I doubt you're watching, but if you are. And she even included a little ice cream cone stitch marker, which I thought was really cute. But that's all I have. So hopefully I can have lots more done on my shawl and sweater, but I will probably knit socks. And I will see about knitting my husband a black lava by the time our anniversary comes around, so I have something to gift to him. We shall see. I'll see you in the group. Come over, introduce yourselves. I'll put up an introduction thread. I see we have 36 members in the group. That's so exciting. And I was thinking about doing a giveaway. I'll have to see what I can come up with, just for fun, just because. And, lots of podcasters do that, and I thought, hey, why not me? But thanks for watching, guys. I hope y'all loved it. See you next time.